Today I'm going to show you the quick, simple workout routine I do every single week to help me build and tone my biceps, triceps, and forearms. You don't need a gym membership, you don't even need a home gym. All you need are a few dumbbells and a cheap weight bench. That's it. It's coming up right now on The Cog is Shred. Hey, how's it going, everybody? My name is John, and after I lost 130 pounds just through mindful eating and walking every day, I realized I actually wanted to gain a little bit of muscle. I didn't want to be a massive bodybuilder, but I just wanted to fill out a little bit more, gain some strength, and I also wanted to try to fill in some of the loose skin that I was left with after the weight loss. Plus, when you lift weights and gain some muscle mass, it makes it way easier to burn fat and keep the weight off. So I've been doing this workout for well over a year now, and this is my modified version of a workout originally by The Movement with Midas. And if you're looking for more workout videos, I highly recommend you check out his channel. He's got a ton of them, and this dude is jacked, way more than I ever planned to be. This workout's pretty quick. We got 30-second sets, 30-second breaks, and 2 rounds. Of course, pace yourself. If you need to take a little longer, that's okay. I'll be honest, sometimes I have to take a break that's longer than 30 seconds. That's all right. Listen to your body, especially if you're a beginner. Don't hurt yourself. Take your time, pace yourself, just stay consistent and do your best. You will continue to get better. It's also extremely important to start out with a lower weight load and gradually increase your weight over time as your strength increases. You don't want to injure yourself. I know sometimes you can be enthusiastic. I fully know what that's like, but it's much better to build your strength than to just try with way too much and hurt yourself.
Because you could hurt yourself or somebody else, okay?
All right, well, make sure you've got some water because you're going to need it. Let's go ahead and warm up and get started.
All right, so here's a summary of the arms workout. As you can see, we've got 12 different exercises. We're doing each exercise for 30 seconds with 30-second rest periods, and we're doing 2 rounds with a 60-second break in between rounds. The equipment I'm using is a pair of 20-pound dumbbells, a pair of 15-pound dumbbells, and a bench. All right, let's go. First up, we've got bicep curl negatives. This exercise is great for building size and strength in your biceps, but the negative motion also helps to work your forearms. So you're gonna lift quickly like a standard bicep curl, but you're gonna lower nice and slowly, really putting that pressure on your forearms. Then quickly lift again with power and repeat. Up next, we've got skull crushers. This is a great workout for your triceps. Now you'll notice you don't want to have your arms straight up and down. You actually want them tilted back just a little bit, and try to keep your elbows locked in place. You don't want them moving all over. So for this one, you're just going to lower the dumbbells on either side of your head, then lift back up and repeat. And please just be careful, don't actually crush your skull. Next, we're doing alternating hammer curls with a hold. So we're doing these curls holding the dumbbell with a hammer grip, and this one's really good for working all parts of your biceps and even more focus on the forearms. Now with this one, we're alternating arms, holding the dumbbell when we get to the top of the curl and then lowering the other arm, and continuing to alternate back and forth. And do your best to keep your elbows tucked into your sides and keep your back straight. Next, we're doing single arm Tate presses, A and B. A will be one arm, B will be the other arm. I generally start with my right arm, but you can start with whatever you want, just make sure you switch for B. This exercise will target the long head and medial head of your triceps, so this is a great one to help increase the size of your triceps. Just make sure you keep your elbow locked in place while you're doing this. Next up, we've got reverse curls. Now, these will obviously target your biceps, but this is also a great workout to help build your forearm muscles. And as you're doing this one, do your best to keep your elbows locked to your sides and try to keep your back upright. Up next, we're doing bench wrist curls. This exercise is going to focus on working the under part of our forearms. Basically, for this one, you just want to let the dumbbells roll forward down to the end of your fingertips, then roll all the way back up and squeeze for 1 to 2 seconds and repeat. Next up, we've got some single-seated overhead presses, and once again, we've got an A and then a B. So this one is also going to be focusing on the long head and the medial head of the triceps. When doing this one, keep your elbow locked in place and lower the dumbbell until it's just below your elbow level, then press back up and repeat. Next up, we've got a regular bicep curl. As usual, keep your back straight, keep your elbows locked to your side, and just pace yourself. Up next are hex press negatives. Now this is also a good workout for your chest, but the slow negative motion really helps work your triceps. So when you do this one, lower it nice and slowly, really feel the burn in your triceps, then press back up explosively and repeat. The last exercise of the round will be hammer to neutral curls. Pretty self-explanatory. When you lift the dumbbells, you'll be holding them with a hammer grip, then switch to a neutral grip and lower them. And that's it for round 1. Now we're going to take a 60-second break and get ready for round 2. Round 2 is exactly the same as round 1, so I'm not going to do any voiceover for that, but just follow the same tips I gave you in round 1 and hang in there, all right? You got this.